literally not even 2 months ago to be introduced to a platform which literally is put together to allow you to be able to go from where you are to where you want to be. And you know what? The name of that platform is called VIBE. It stands for Visualize Your Breakthrough. And the reason I'm sharing this with you, and I started with this story is because yesterday when I was talking to my son, I told you I was going to get back to that story. I was talking to my son and talking to one of his friends. His friend was sharing with me something that just really hit me because I talk about it every day. His friend went to school. His friend went and got a good education. But his friend went into an occupation in which was dear to his friend's heart. And that's being a teacher. And the problem is this. Teachers don't get paid a lot. Now, this friend of his went to school, graduated the whole 9 yards, has a career that's directly attached to what his friend was studying in college. Hello. But my son's friend was sharing with me yesterday that his friend still has to live with their parents. And it's just really bothering the psychology of my son's friend. And I couldn't help to think about how every day as I'm sitting up here talking to y'all about the 4 income drains, that's exactly what my son's friend was talking about. See, because my friend said, my son's friend was saying that their parents used to give my son's friend a hard time. Now let's just call my son's friend Bill. So I don't have to keep saying my son's friend. So Bill was telling me basically that his parents used to always get on him about, look, man, you know, when they're his age, you know, they had their own place, they had their own car, they had their own this. But after a couple of years of Bill's parents watching him, say, stable job, college degree, then started looking at how much groceries cost, how much bills cost, how much the cost of living is. And they started apologizing to Bill, saying, you know what, we apologize to you because we didn't think about the fact that, you know what, the cost of living is so expensive here in Vancouver. You know, most professionals who both have 2 incomes of making $100,000 a year or more, they can't afford a house. How are you by yourself going to be able to afford a house being a teacher? And so I share that with you because you know what, it's one of the powerful things when you think about it, is because what it happens is that the 4 income factors, and that worst one of all, we're going to start today with inflation. It doubles the price of living, the cost of living every 10 years. So that means right now, if you graduate from college and you were blessed to go into a particular field or industry, like in finance, let's say you're working in corporate America or corporate Canada, you're working for like one of those major corporations right now, and they blessed you because you had good grades. Hey, you went and got your degree in business and finance. Hey, you might have went and even got your master's degree, so you got an MBA. So let's say that right now today, in 2025, you're making $100,000. Nah, come on, man. Let's say you're doing it, man. Let's quote numbers, say you're doing it for real, for real. So let's say you're making $200,000 a year right now. Guess what? That means in 20, 35, and 10 years, you're going to have to be making $400,000 just to be able to have the same lifestyle as today. That means in 20 years, in 45, you're going to have to be making $800,000. And that means in 30 years, in 2055, you're going to have to be making $1.8 million to live at the same standard right now where you can't even afford a house, living by yourself in 2025. And you know what? If I was to stop right there, I'd say that alone is enough reason why you need to take a look at this company that we call VIBE, Visualize Your Breakthrough. Because that alone right there shows you that after you went ahead and you did everything that you were told to do, you went to school, you got good grades, you got that good education. Heck, man, you might have graduated from, cum laude, whatever it's called, valedictorian. You went to Harvard, Stanford, come on. You might have went to Cal, Berkeley, UW, University of Washington, University of McGill, or UBC. But guess what? When it comes to inflation don't care about your education. And it's going to double with or without your permission every 10 years. So that means in 40 years, you got to be making over $3.2 million to live like you are right now in 2025. So let's go over the other 3 income drains, because you know what? Now that I got your attention, that also let me explain to you. You know that good job? You know what's going to happen is the more money you make, you go, hey, HD, hey, man, I'm a corporate exec. I'm doing it big style. Man, because where I work, guess what, man? I even got me a Porsche 911. Man, I got me this nice, beautiful condo. Oh, yeah, I'm doing it big style. But guess what? As a W-2 employee or T4 employee, guess what? You're going to pay still taxes 3 times a year. Hello. And instead of getting paid that $200,000 that's on your salary that you signed off on that ink, guess what? You're going to be lucky if you see 60% of that income. Why? Because the more money you make, the more taxes they're going to take out. And before you get paid every single check, okay, whether you get paid monthly or bi-weekly, they're going to take taxes out that check. Hello? And then when you go spend money, they're going to take more money out, taxes out when you spend that money. And then on April of every year, pop, they're going to take more taxes. And so what's going to happen is you're going to find out that you're going to have to become real good at budgeting. And you go, but HD, man, $200,000 is a lot of money. Yeah, but unfortunately, you're not going to get that $200,000 because you're a W-2 employee or a T4 employee. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, on the other hand, $200,000 is a lot of money. You know why? Because you get to keep that whole check. And guess what? While you spend that check, whether you're going to your country club, rubbing elbows with the doctors, the lawyers, hey, whether you're rubbing elbows with some of the financial, consultants who are trading on Wall Street, some of your friends who went to school with you at Harvard, Stanford, maybe they went with you at Carnegie Mellon. Hello, guess what? If you're an entrepreneur, now you get to keep that whole check. Now, here's the best part about it, is while you're spending that check, say you're going and taking them out to a nice lunch. Maybe you guys are going out to a Starbucks coffee. As you go ahead and you book that all-inclusive vacation and you're talking business, on your vacation. And guess what? You're keeping that receipt because as an entrepreneur, at the end of the 12 months, come April, you're going to take your books, you're going to take your receipt, and you're going to take your daily agenda. Hello. And you're going to set that right in front of your tax specialist. You're going to sit it in front of a business accountant. And they're going to sit up here and they're going to calculate your tax breaks. Hello. And you might have started at $200,000, okay, where someone who had a job said they're going to get $200,000, but they're only going to probably make $120 take home. Their contract says $200,000. That's gross. Their net, probably $120 when they get paid. But you're going to get your $200,000. And they're going to have to budget that $120. Hello, we talked about they're going to pay taxes 3 times, right? But for you, you're going to pay taxes on everything that you spend. But as you hand over their paperwork, you hand over those receipts, you hand over your calendar and your agenda, guess what's going to happen? That $200,000 came down to, say, $60,000 you had left. Well, guess what? Now, because you have a good accountant, you have a good business tax specialist, they're going to, instead of paying the tax bracket of $200,000 as an entrepreneur, you're going to pay on that $60,000. Hello. Then you go, hey, see, that's not fair. Why do they get all those tax breaks? Because there's 2 different tax systems in North America. One for the rich, hello. One for the poor, I'm sorry. One for the business owners, hello. And one for those who business owners employ. See, what happens is you got to understand, business owners and entrepreneurs get tax breaks, and they're on a totally separate tax system because it's their job to create job employment for the citizens of the country. Why is that? Because if they don't, then that means the government's going to have to. And I don't know about you, but the nice thing is living in North America is if I'm creating a business that's going to be able to have the potential to be able to create jobs for other people, the government says thank you by having a completely separate, different tax system for me that rewards me for being an entrepreneur, for being diligent. Now, the cool thing is I'm able to write off not just my tax stuff, but also interest rates. Things like that house note, I'm able to write off as part of the square footage that I use for business. My car note, I'm able to write off, 50 cents for every mile I'm driving on that car. 65%, 65 cents in Canada. Hello, for every kilometer I'm driving, up to 10,000 kilometers. And then it drops down to about 55 cents. So what's my bottom line? There's a lot of tax advantages of owning your own business, even if you're just running a side business out of your house. Now, the third thing you're able to take off as a tax write-off is insurance. So you're already going to have house insurance, car insurance, pet insurance. God forbid you got to send your pet to the veterinarian. You better have insurance. And you don't want to be trapped 3,000 miles away coming down with some sickness in the third world country with no insurance, so you better get travel insurance. Well, guess what? As an entrepreneur, you're able to write all those things off on your taxes, and that's why you're going to be with a tax specialist. Now, if you're not an entrepreneur, then I just named 4 things that's eating away at your finances, which you have nothing you can do to save yourself from, man. You don't have the tax write-offs. In fact, the cost of living as an entrepreneur, guess what? Your business works as a hedge of protection over inflation. So as the price of things go up every 10 years, it doubles. Guess what? So does your services price. So does your product. So what happens? You have a hedge of protection. And that's why the rich continue to get richer while the poor continue to get poor. And that's the secret that they don't teach you in school. That's the secret that you're only going to learn from those people who are wealthy, who are willing to share that information with you. So I went ahead and said that because you know what? I had a pleasure 30 years ago to be able to start working with multimillionaires who were took me under their wing to start mentoring me. Okay. And because of that, you know what? They taught me a lot of things in which now God has blessed me to be able to now share with you. One of the things they taught me 30 years ago is this. You know what? Rich people are rich because they buy assets. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket versus a liability. A liability is like, guess what? You went to work, you had your paycheck. Let's call it, you know what? $7,000 every 2 weeks because you're making $200,000 a year net. I'm sorry, gross. Okay. But guess what? The net out of that 200,000, you'll be lucky if you see 120, 140. Okay. So as you're spending that on cars, on your houses, on vacations, on dinner, that's just a liability, man. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're spending it still on that car, that house, that boat, that vacation, that dinner, guess what? Now you have ways to be able to write that off. And then now goes from being a liability to, guess what, an asset. Why? Because now it's putting money back in your pocket. Why? Because now you're able to show that, hey, I went out to dinner with this person, but we were talking about collaborating on this brand new podcast we're about to do. I went to business with this other person, and we were talking about collaborating on what? Expanding my business in another country. I went ahead and I flew halfway across the world. I went all the way over to pick wherever you want, man. I went all the way to Italy. Why? Because you know what? We were looking at how we were about to expand my company over in Rome. Hello? You see what I'm saying? Now, all of a sudden, even your travel, you can go on and bring your family, your spouse, and your kids. And guess what? You're still able to write off a portion of it. Why? Because as long as you're doing business a certain percentage of that time, get with your tax accountant, get with your business tax specialist, and they'll explain all these rules to you. You're able to write off a lot of these expenses that, guess what? If you're just doing it for work and you had a T4 W2, guess what, man? Company might pay for it, but guess what? Company's only going to pay for so much. But then all the stuff that you bought out of your own dime, clothes, spa, all that stuff, company ain't going to pay for all that. It is what it is. So guess what? How do I know this? Because I had a millionaire tell me 30 years ago, he said, HD, man, you want to be a millionaire, then you got to think like a millionaire. You got to speak like a millionaire. I said, well, how am I going to do that, Joe? He goes, man, you got to start reading like a millionaire. And he answered the phone, got out of his Porsche 911, and I looked in the back seat as I was sitting there, and I said, he said, read like a millionaire. I seen a book in the back seat, and it was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I wrote the name of that book on my hand, and it changed my life. Come on. Second book was even better, Cash Flow Quadrant. When I read that second book, Cash Flow Quadrant, it showed me how to go from being an employee to being self-employed, which is exactly what I did. I went from working, for the banks, working for another company when I was at Conseco Financial, to then going ahead and becoming a 1099 contractor. That means I worked as an independent mortgage broker for myself when I left Conseco Financial. And that $10,000 that I got there, that after taxes was paid net, was only $6,500. Boom, a year later, when me and the missus were making $15,000, $20,000, guess what? We got to keep the whole check because now I was 1099, which means I was self-employed working for myself. Now, the thing that Robert Kiyosaki said is in order for you to be able to maximize your return on your investment, you want to go from the point where you're being an employee to being self-employed, but you want to get to the point where now you're able to expand your business and to become a corporation. Now, once you start a corporation, that means that now you're able to hire other people. Now that means you're no longer trading time for money like you are as a self-employed realtor, mortgage broker, doctor. There's only 24 hours in a day. But once you're able to now employ, say, other doctors, so now you got a clinic where now you're getting paid not just off of your 24 hours a day that you're working, but now you're able to get paid off of the work that other doctors are doing. Or maybe you're a barber. Maybe you're a barber and you're self-employed. But once you open up your barber shop and you go ahead and get like 6 to 10 more chairs, now you have each one of those barbers paying, for that space. And guess what? Now part of their money's paying the rent. Now part of their money that's going for the rent. You could have a chair fee. You could have, going for this and that to pay for your license, pay for this. Now, guess what? You've got leverage. And once you have leverage, now you're able to be able to create passive residual income. That's how you're now getting your time back. And that's what the wealthy do. They let their money be invested in assets that's going to allow them to make more money, so that they're not trading their time for dollars. Their money's making their money. And then they put that money into investments. Hello. And now that money that's in investments, that investments money makes them money. And pretty soon they're able to make enough. That's their money's working for them. Hello. They got other people collaborating or employees working for them. Hello. Now they get their time back, and now they're able to sit back and enjoy the life that you love watching on TV, man. You know what TV stands for? Television. When you're watching TV or streaming it online, all you're doing is watching somebody else's vision. You're watching someone else do what you could have done if you would just make the sacrifice to do what they did. Okay. Now, what are we talking about when you're that, HD? Let me put it like this, man. The money at one point in the agricultural age was in the ground. Whether you're sitting up here farming, wheat, pigs, cows, hello, cotton, hello, tobacco, whatever, it was in the ground. In fact, when you see the big gold rush, it was really in the ground, man. People were buying plots of land to be able to find gold. Just like over in Africa, people might own a certain plot of land just to be able to find diamonds. Hello? The wealth used to be there. But when we went to the Industrial Revolution, the money went from being in the ground to now it started going, and it was in the corporate offices. It was in the warehouses. And when you seen that a lot of people, 90% of the population in North America went from trading their time for money in their own farms, going to work for these big corporations. Hello, 90% of the population went from the rural area to the city. Guess what? There was great wealth that was made, because now those individuals who own Ford Motor Company, hello, those people who own the textile industries, those people who own the manufacturing industries that were creating all the things that people were buying, those people made a lot more money than what used to be made on the farm. Why? Because now they had other people trading their 24 hours, their time for money, to help make them more money. And that's how you see you had your Vanderbilts, your DuPonts, hello, your Carnegies, your Mellons, hello, your Rockefellers. That's how they made their money, man, because they were able to create leverage. Now, guess what? The same thing happened when we went from the Industrial Revolution, hello, to streamlined distribution. Why? Because at one point where the products used to move, from the manufacturer, hello, to the consumer, right? It used to go through what? A train, right? But then as we upgraded, when we went from the train and Ford and these other, motor companies, they went from having just the regular cars to trucks. They went from trucks to making semi-trucks, and being very industrious. The nation started making these roads that went from being dirt roads to gravel roads, and from dirt roads to gravel roads to being the concrete cement roads. And these semi-trucks started moving, these products from the East Coast to the West Coast and vice versa through Highway 66. And a lot of businesses, mom and pops, and a lot of local companies made their money hiring people, just like they seen happen in the big cities, to be able to make their parts. Hello, for the automotive industry. Hello, to be able to make their parts for, the machinery that was making, massive production of clothing and massive production of whatever they were building in these manufacturing plants, right? But then as you went to streamline distribution, what happened is these companies, the true pyramids in life, as they started cutting out the middleman. Why? Because businesses have to become leaner and meaner to be able to meet expectation. Why? Because what happens is a business is nothing more than a company that has a product or service, and they're making a profit minus their expenses. That equals how much the value of the company is. And guess what? Every quarter and every year, these companies are always putting projections saying, we intend that we're going to have this percentage of growth this year. We're going to have this percentage of growth over the next quarter or the next 2 quarters or 3 quarters. Hello. And so guess what? Companies got to a point where technology only got them so far. And so when they started going ahead and the bean counters started looking at the books, they go, look, man, we know we're spending billions of dollars in advertising, but we got to do that. Why? Because that's the only visibility we got to move product to the market. Well, then you got some of these middle managers who got smart. They go, you know what? We know how these companies work. So if there's a way we could go ahead and design our own corporation, and now we don't work with our company, but now we can make them hire us back for more money than they used to pay us individually. And that's what they did. They said, look, man, we're going to help you continue to streamline your system. We know you done cut out a lot of the fat here in middle management. You still have the regional managers, you still have the CEOs, you still have the executives at the top, and you still have everyone under the middle management all the way to the person who's on minimum wage. Hello. They go, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to help save you money so that you can hit your quarterly goals. Hello. They were smart. They said, what we're going to do is we're going to create our own distribution team. Okay? We're going to create our own distribution team. Okay? And so now you're going to be able to take a part of that marketing budget. Hello. And then you're going to be able to take a part of that sales budget. Hello. And instead of spending billions of dollars for the Super Bowl, billions of dollars for the NBA championship, billions of dollars for the PGA Tour, billions of dollars at Wimbledon, watching Venus and Serena, come on, get another championship. Instead of spending billions of dollars on the UFC, billions of dollars with March Madness, come on, billions of dollars during MLB commercials, you're going to take just a portion of marketing and sales, you're going to give it to us, and we're going to go ahead and hire our own sales team. Hello. And we're going to make sure that they're selling your phone. Hello, Ma Bell. Your internet. Hello. Come on, ACN. We're going to make sure that they're selling your what? Your cell phone. Hello. Come on. They're going to be selling your legal, prepaid legal. They're going to be selling your financials. Hello, Prime America. They're going to be selling your vitamins. Hello, Amway and Melaleuca. They're going to start selling. Come on. You see how they got into the direct sales and network marketing industry? Because it's the most efficient way to move product to market, man. And because of that, they created a 2 to 5 year plan, and they created thousands of millionaires in the process, man. But you missed that, because that already came and gone. Man, there's already hundreds of thousands of people in North America who made millions of dollars in network marketing. But guess what? It don't stop there, because guess what? Technology continued to go, and economic trends continue to go. And we went from the, streamlined distribution era, to the dot-com era. And around that time, there's a gentleman by the name of Jeff Bezos. And he was getting tired of that 40-40 plan. He was tired of trading his hours for dollars. He was tired of, working harder and harder. The more money he made, the more taxes he had to pay. And he came up with an idea. He said, Bill Gates, man, he has all the software and the IBM computers. Hello. He got the Intel Pentium chip company. They all making money. Look at Silicon Valley. Everyone over there is growing in technology. He goes, And they're pulling these fiber optic cables literally all around the world to connect the world on this World Wide Web. He goes, man, I wonder. He goes, He goes, you know what? I wonder if I could sell more books than Chapters Indigo in Canada. I wonder if I could sell more books online than Barnes & Noble in the United States. And he goes, you know what? I know they got a 50-year head start, but that's brick and mortar. And you know what? Rockefeller made money when the economic trend changed, going from agricultural age to the Industrial Revolution. He said all these network marketing companies, owners, they made billions when we went from the Industrial Revolution to streamlined distribution. Well, now I see we're getting ready to go to this technological age. So he goes, I wonder if I could start selling books out of my garage and go on and get my high-tech computer, get me one of them super fast speed internet things and start selling books. And guess what? Couple decades later, Amazon.com is not only one of the #1 distributor of books in North America, they're selling books all around the world. And not just books, health and beauty, technology, your cell phone. You want to get your earpieces. Come on, you want to get wireless earpieces. You want to get your pots and pans. Man, you want to go on and get your books. Man, Amazon.com has literally became the seller of everything, to the point of even toys, where Toys R Us had to close most of their toy stores. Come on, man. That's the power of being at the right place at the right time. When you combine technology, the advancement of technology, with a rapidly changing economy. If you guys do like Jeff Bezos and get on that surfboard and get at the right place at the right time, you guys can get on that wave and you can ride it, man, to billions. You can ride it to become just like the Rockefellers, just like the Gates, just like the DuPonts. Hello, just like the Mellons. Man, I'm telling you, back in their fireplace, they're going to have a big picture frame of great-great-great-grandma, great-great-great-grandpa who invested in the AI revolution in 2025, if you listen to me. Now you go, HD, that sounds real good, but you never told me what the product is of this company you're telling me about. Well, you know what? I'm going to get there. Because guess what? We already went through what Jeff Bezos did with that .com era. And guess what? We're in the midst right now of the social media era, a time where, guess what? People like me and you, regular people, are going online. They're on platforms. They got accessibility to the World Wide Web. They're putting their product, they're putting their knowledge, they're putting their wisdom. They're creating value-added courses. They're creating their own YouTube. They got their own comedy, their own skits. And guess what? People are going from zero to hero. They're going from being a W-2 employee to making millions of dollars on the internet in 3 to 6 months overnight. They're going from being a content creator to being an influencer, and they're being recognized by major brands, major corporations around the world because they said, look, a lot of people aren't watching TV as much as they used to. In fact, most people are watching their movies and their TV shows and their sitcoms and even their sports. I was one of them. Man, I watched March Madness on Amazon Prime. Get out of here, man. Jeff Bezos is even in that. The cable industry. He competing with Netflix, and that's another company that was at the right place at the right time. But right now, we're going into the AI era. And this platform today I'm going to talk to you about is going to give you the opportunity to take your wisdom, to take your goals, to take your dream, to take your vision, and the gifts that God put in you, and to be able to monetize it. You'd be like, what you mean, HD? Well, number one, when they started a company called Vibe, Megan and Reagan Lynch, I call them the super twins. Hello. They are the super twins, man. You might as well call them the Wonder Twins because they never deactivate. They started off, Megan was a teacher in English in a school, and she started off wanting to teach entrepreneurship to kids who, you know what? It was breaking their heart because it was breaking their heart every day. You know, there'd be someone who they were in a good mood one day, the next day they're not, coming out the inner city, losing a loved one, best friend, neighbor, gang violence, cartel violence, drug violence. Hello. And so she decided she wanted to teach entrepreneurship to him. But she teamed up with her roommate, Miss Reagan Lynch, who was incredible. Miss Reagan Lynch is incredible at networking, incredible at being organized, putting things together in the background. While her twin sister, Megan's always boots on ground. She's a great community leader. She's a great communicator. She's really good at being able to build relationships and being able to communicate things so that people understand. And she has just such a big heart that people just vibe with her, which is a play on words because the name of the company is Vibe. But what happened is they went ahead and started this after-school program. They went ahead and wrote a grant after it was being super successful. A lot of kids were joining. A lot of kids were getting a lot of breakthroughs in their own life and understanding entrepreneurship. But when they went ahead and wrote this plan to be able to get a $100,000 grant, the school kept the money, distributed it through the band equipment, football equipment. Who knows what all they put it in. But when she asked about it, they said they didn't want to talk about it too much. When she tried to go ahead and find out about it, be like, look, this was for a program for the kids. They said that she brings it up again, she's going to be let go. Well, she got smart. Her and Reagan decided to get in direct sales. Why? Because it's the most effective way to move product to the market. But number two, it's one of the best ways that, like I told you, Robert Kiyosaki said, for you to go from zero to being able to be successful in business. Because guess what? You have the training, you get the mentorship, you're going to be able to have plugged into an education in which you're going to be able to go from thinking like an employee to an entrepreneur. Most direct sales companies have the successful books. They have the media. Back in the days, we used to have it called tapes and books. Now these days, you can get all that stuff online, but they're able to direct you to what the best resources you're going to need to be able to reprogram your mind for success. How to think like a Bill Gates, how to think like a Warren Buffett. And guess what? That was how they decided to launch Vibe, is because the two of them ended up hooking up with Andre Russell, who was, oh my goodness, he's literally kissing to be a billionaire. He made hundreds of millions of dollars in the technology. In fact, he was the one who put together the physical infrastructure of this company Vibe. He's the one who put together the technology and created the physical, what we call the ecosystem. And they started off with creating a financial literacy school. And literally what they imagined was it's going to be a place kind of like SOS, which was the after-school program they originally built for these youth in the inner city to be able to learn entrepreneurship. But as they started to talk with some of their friends, because Megan had been in several other multi-level marketing companies before she decided to start her own with her sister and Andre Russell, and she got this reputation known as the legend maker because she made tens of millions of dollars in the direct sales and network marketing industry. But she didn't only make that money, she went ahead and took those people who were in her family, like her sister. She went and took people who was in her family, like I remember 2 companies ago, even her son, who was only like 19 years old at the time, was making $20,000 a month in the network marketing company that she was helping people to learn how to be successful in. Okay, she took even teachers who were making only $40,000 and $50,000 a year and literally helped them to become multimillionaires. And guess what? She took that know-how, that knowledge, her being able to be mentored by a gentleman who is making well over $45 million a year. Come on. And now she decided to put all that knowledge, all those contacts, all that wisdom, all that technology, all the training, hello, and combine it with the AI tools, hello, of Mr. Andre Russell, putting together a platform, and now you have a place that you can go and learn DeFi, crypto, Forex, man, sports betting, you name it. Anything that has to do with money. You're getting the best education. And if you went to myvibe.io last week at 1 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern, you would have seen what you're going to be able to see starting again tomorrow. What's that? Millionaire and billionaire educators who are combining not only their know-how and knowledge, but with technology where they're going to have AI systems to be able to help you learn what they're teaching on this platform. Come on. It's never been better. Now, not just that, you know what? My mom used to tell me when I was younger, she used to say, you know what, David? She said, birds of a feather flock together. And you know what I had my millionaire mentors tell me a long time ago? They said, look, man, they said, HD, you need to understand the importance of association. They said, you realize the 5 people that you spend the most time with, your income is going to be the average of those 5 people? Well, with Vibe, they went ahead and created, with that in mind, what they call a Vibe tribe. Imagine a community of like-minded individuals, including whatever industry you're in, being able to network in your own community inside of the ecosystem community with like-minded people. Imagine it's kind of like Facebook. You're able to create your own group. But guess what? Instead of calling it a group, we call it a tribe. So you're able to come in the Vibe ecosystem and create your own tribe of entrepreneurs, tribe of educators, your own tribe of content creators. Hello, man, if you're an artist, your own tribe of artists. If you're into music, your own tribe of musicians. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Man, you have an opportunity, man, to be like the Bible said, iron sharpen iron, and being able to become, you know what, wiser, smarter. You're able to go ahead and hone your craft. You're able to be able to get knowledge from people who are like-minded like you, and as you collaborate, the other thing Vibe created was called Vibe Global. Imagine if you collaborate with some of these men and women and you guys decide to come up with your own value-added course at Vibe Global. Now y'all have a platform to be able to sell your gifts, your knowledge, your wisdom, your skill set. Imagine, like my friend Jerome Majette, who invited me to this platform. Shout out to Jerome Rome. Man, talk about the best friend a brother could have. Last 3 years, man, that dude's cried with me, prayed with me when I was going through all sorts of things. But you know what? He's also the man who invited me to Vibe. And I thank him every day for that, man. I can't give enough shout out to this man because he's changed literally because he was obedient when the Lord put me on his heart and he called me. Man, my children's are going to be set for the rest of their life, man. Just like the Gates. Hello. Like the Rockefellers. Hello. Come on, man. Just like the DuPonts. Come on, why? Because I'm literally at the right place at the right time as I'm right here at the start of the launch of this company that is an ecosystem connected to AI right before this AI revolution takes away 85% of all the jobs. I'm learning how to leverage it and to be able to use my gifts to be able to create a subscriber base of people who are entrepreneurs, educators, and content creators, and be able to teach them how to plug into a platform that's going to allow them to monetize it. Like I said, imagine if Jerome is now going to teach his class, which is called attraction marketing. Guess what? He is. Attraction marketing is something that's going to teach you how to go from being a hunter to the hunted. It's a course that costs over $10,000 to learn because it's going to teach you how to drive business, hello, to your product and your service. Hello. It is so important that, you know what? What he explained it to me is like this. If you're on an online platform, everyone's going to have accessibility. But the main problem why most people are content creators aren't what they call viral. Most content creators are not influencers is because they don't understand visibility. Now, visibility is like this. He said visibility is like this. Imagine you had the best lemonade recipe right here from Aunt Sally. Oh, man, Aunt Sally. Man, I'm telling you, Aunt Sally, you need to sell that lemonade. And it's the best lemonade in all of the state of Alabama. Guess what? Aunt Sally goes, oh, honey child, it's all good. I got my lemonade stand. I keep my lemonade just out front, man. And I get a lot of foot traffic every day. Now, foot traffic is a fancy word for what? Visibility. That's all visibility is online. But imagine if Aunt Sally listened to me. Imagine if Aunt Sally went ahead and she came in the Vibe and she got with some of these multimillionaire mentorship. She got on this education where she's able to start getting these books, being able to get these videos. She's able to strategically start working with people who's going to teach her, train her, educate her, give her the technology, allow her to be able to have iron sharpen iron, be part of a community of entrepreneurs. And they go, you know what, Sally? Man, we heard a lot of people say that, man, you have the best lemonade. Why don't you take that lemonade to the county fair? I heard coming up here in July, Alabama's going to have a nice county fair. Now, imagine if she did that. Now, can you imagine what happened day one if Aunt Sally took her lemonade from her front porch where she had a lemonade stand and she had her nephews, hello, her nieces, hello, her daughter and son gone to help set up a booth at the county fair? Come on, man. She probably wouldn't even be able to keep up. I guarantee you she'd be able to sell more lemonade in one day than she'd be able to sell at her front porch for the whole year. And the difference is visibility. The difference in you put in your book, the difference in you put in your product, the difference in you put in your shirts, your merch, your hats, your sweatshirts, the difference in you put in your business, whatever business it is. Maybe, you know what, you're just trying to raise money for your church. You're trying to raise money, hello, for a nonprofit organization. The difference in putting it on a different platform or Vibe is, guess what? Vibe, we have salespeople who are incentivized to be able to drive traffic to this platform. We have salespeople who are incentivized to be able to go ahead and drive traffic to your business, your product, your service. Hello. And because of that, you could take your value-added course and you could put it on here. Say you wanted to go ahead and be like James out of Dallas, Texas, who's one of the baddest bass players in the jazz industry down out of Texas. He plays with professional jazz musicians down in Dallas, Texas. He loves music so much, he don't only tutor kids and teach them one-on-one. He plays every Sunday at church. Imagine if James was able to go ahead and supplement his income and be able to make more money while he sleeps at night, because he takes his phone, hits record, puts it on tripod while he's teaching class. Hello. And then for promotional, he went ahead and had someone set up some their phones and they record him while he's in these jazz concerts. Then he uploads that content on the Vibe, and now he charges $30 a course per month. Hello. Just $30 per month to be able to teach people in 160 countries around the world how to play that bass guitar. Well, guess what? If he had 1,000 people sign up this month when we launch, then guess what? 1,000 people times $30, man, last time I checked, that's $30,000 he would make this month in his sleep. And if everyone invited one next month, he would go from $30,000 in his sleep to $60,000 month two. And guess what? If everyone again invited just one person, because they're like, man, James Udell, this is a bad bass player. He a bad man. They love his music, and all these parents are networking and telling everyone they know. And they told one more person, everyone told one more person, he'd go from $30,000 the first month, $60,000 the second month, hello, to $120,000 the third month, and he'd be a multimillionaire, because $120,000 times 12 months is what? That's over $1 million. But guess what? It don't stop there. Imagine my friend Big Rob over in Washington. He studied karate for over 18 years in Taiwan. And I told Big Rob about this, and he goes, HD, I know, you want to talk about business, but all I want to hear about is the part is how I can make money doing nothing other than karate. I said, Big Rob, if you got a phone, you got a tripod, if you just hit record when you're teaching karate in Pullman, Washington, what? And you record that, we have an AI program here on this platform that you're going to be able to upload all your content. It's going to take no more than 20 minutes to upload your entire course. And if you literally charge, hello, $30 for that course per person, and you didn't get any more than just 50 people a day signing up for your course, guess what happened? You're still going to make $1,500 a day. Hello. And after 7 days, that's going to be $10,000 that week. Hello. And after 52 weeks in that year, you still would have made over $500,000. I don't know how you want to cut it, but either way you cut it, this is one of the greatest platforms, because they're giving you not just accessibility like you have on Amazon. Hello, they're giving you visibility, because they're driving traffic to your product, to your gifts, to your program, whatever you're selling. And you know what? That's important, because Jerome told me, he wrote a book called Why Did God Make Man? And when he got done telling all his friends and family to go on Amazon to go ahead and buy his book, his profit stalemated. And so he started looking at, hey man, where can I go to go ahead and get someone to start marketing my book? He looked at prices. He looked at different opportunities. He said, man, the cheapest was like $1,700. And guess what? It went from up there, man. It probably went over to $5,000, $10,000 a month. I said, well, man, what was the problem with that? He said, yo, Diesel, they don't even guarantee the results. I was like, man, how are you going to pay $1,700 and they don't guarantee results? He said, yep. He goes, that's why he called me, man, a couple months ago. He goes, HD, I don't want you to make the same mistake I did when I wrote my book and put it on Amazon. He goes, man, I want you to go ahead and get on this course, right? Put your book on here because they're going to be driving traffic, foot traffic, visibility. Hello, foot traffic is visibility to buy your book online. As soon as you're done with it, man, put it on here. I said, okay. He goes, and on top of that, I want you to take my course. I said, how much you charge for your course? He said, $20. I said, $20? I could do that. Is that a day? He goes, no, $20 a month. I said, man, why are you doing a course for $20 a month? You ain't gonna make no money. He goes, Diesel, man. I'm teaching this thing called attraction marketing. They had over 70,000 entrepreneurs sign up in pre-launch just to be connected from 160 countries to this platform to be able to do business. I said, what? He said, imagine if all I get is just 10,000 people the first month. I go, man, I did the math. I said, $20 per person first month, 10,000. I said, oh my goodness, that's 200,000. He goes, man, that's all I do. I'll make 2.4 million this year. I said, bro, I got to see this platform, man, because I'm going to have to go ahead and write my book. And guess where I'm going as soon as I'm done with this presentation? To the library, finish editing my book. Why? Because this bad boy is going to be ready for ebook next week when we launch this week. Why? Because HD is going to go on and have that book being sold, man. Come on, man. $19.99 times 10,000 people buying it. $20 times 10. And that's just for selling a book that I wrote 12 years ago. Come on, man. I know, can you see what I'm talking about? The importance of visibility plus accessibility working through this company Vibe. Well, it gets better than this. Because guess what, man? Not only are you going to be able to have that, this company even is going to have something they call Vibe Brand Work. And Vibe Brand Work, they're going to be able to help you to be able to build, guess what, your own website. Hello. They're going to even be able to help you be able to brand yourself for a business owner. Now, on top of that, they also have something called Vibe Style. So if you want to go ahead and have your own merchandise, your cups, your hats, your shirts, man, Lord knows I have at least 3 different brands right now. I got, guess what, Daily Word with HD. I'm going to need Daily Work with HD. Guess what? I'm going to need hats, sweatshirts, mugs, cups. Man, I'm even going to need a little mouse for that. But then guess what? In the afternoon, I got, guess what? Coffee break with HD. And then every day I'm doing this presentation called Daily Live with HD. Man, that's 3 different types of products for merchandise I'm going to need right there. And guess what? At Vibe, they have 40,000 square foot office space or warehouse space where they got all the machines to go on and make your sweatshirts, your hats, your cups, man, whatever you need to have them produce, man, that merch, they can do it all there. And guess what? The best part about it is not only make it there, I can even have it sold on that platform, and I can still have it sold on other platforms, including with my website that I'm going to have them making brand works. Now, you think that's pretty cool? It gets better. I've been telling you about the importance of visibility. They went one step further. Imagine them being able to have a digital magazine where they're literally, spotlighting you. You know, HD, what's spotlighted? That's them marketing your product. You being able to do like a 30-second blurb, say, hey, my name is HD Rhodes, and I live in Canada, and I got my own podcast. Yeah, y'all know HD's about to do a podcast. If y'all see me in the studio last week, now you know what's really cooking. HD sitting up there cooking like Chef Curry, about to start my 4th product with this. It's going to be a nice little podcast. But guess what? They're going to have a spotlight, which you're going to be able to tell, have a 30-second blurb where you say who you are, where you're from, what your product is, and guess what? It's going to be not only on this platform. You can take that information, put it on all 4 platforms. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Man, you can even take that whole thing down to your chambers of commerce. You talk about a powerful opportunity. Now you go, HD, all that sounds good, but how much does it cost? I said, man, this is the best part about it. Guess what? It don't cost even 1/5 of what Jerome was going to have to pay just to get that marketing that wasn't even guaranteed on Amazon. It's literally 1/5 of that $1,700 a month. You say you get all that for 1/5 of what it would have cost to advertise at the lowest on Amazon? And guess what? If you still have a money challenge on what you're trying to do, guess what? Not only can you learn to day trade because they got billionaire and millionaire traders teaching that in the Vibe Vault, guess what? They're taking this show on the road. They're hitting state to state, province to province, county to county, kind of like, guess what, instead of a job fair, they're having an entrepreneur fair where they're going to have symposiums, where they're bringing people who are successful and business owners from all around the world is going to be traveling with them, sitting up there preaching, guess what, the Vibe, Visualize Your Breakthrough Gospel. And guess what? they're going to have on that Vive Ventures. And Vive Ventures is going to be kind of like your Shark Tank or your Dragon's Den that's going to give you that opportunity to be able to go ahead and to be able to pitch, you know, your business concept, your business idea. And guess what? If there's a millionaires or billionaires there who like what you have to say, now just like Dragon's Den, you're going to be able to partner up and be like, good job. So guess what? That's all I got to tell you so far when it comes to if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a content creator, or you're an educator, and you're just looking for a home to be able to take your business from start to finish, from step one to done. You go, HD, what do you mean done? I mean R-I-C-H. That's how I spell done. You're like, HD, that's not how you spell done. Well, hey, man, from the world I came from of entrepreneurship, I call it done. I don't get in business just to make money. I don't get in business just to go ahead and replace my job. I get in business to be able to get rich. Why? Because guess what? I already told you about the 4 income drains, and you got to be able to keep up with inflation, baby. It doubles the price of cost of living every 10 years. So last but not least, I want to now I want to go on and change. I want to go ahead and change seats. What I want to do now is I want to talk to those people who love sales, those people who are into direct sales, those people in network marketing. I also want to talk to those people who might be in the urban inner cities. And you know what? You might be an urban hustler. You might be what they call a street pharmacist. Hello? You might be one of those people in the hood who's always on your hustle. What I want to tell you is instead of going and re-upping, okay, I want to show you a business platform that's going to give you an opportunity to make more money legally than you can make illegally. You'd be like, how can you do that, HD? I already told you, we got millionaires and billionaires here teaching people about financial literacy. Just in cryptocurrency and Forex alone, these guys can show you how to make over $100,000 easily a week, $100,000 easily a month. Man, if you understood that just alone in the Forex space, in the DeFi space, it's a 7 crypto. Now that's a lot of money. But Forex is the most liquid market on the planet because what it is, it involves foreign currency. Over $7 trillion a day is moving, in that industry, liquid. And you have opportunities by just having a cell phone to be able to go ahead and take some of it out. Man, I remember when I first learned about it from Jerome 3 years ago when I started taking my classes. Thank you, King Pip. Shout out to KPCFX. Great thing is, guess what? King Pip, my teacher for the last 3 years, he's going to be part of this platform too. Super excited to be able to connect with him and be able to continue sending people to KPCFX right here on this platform. Man, right there, that's enough for me to turn that music on and start dancing again. Little backup. Come on. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, man. What I want to talk to you guys about is, you know what? I went over one income stream. And so, like I said, if you're a content creator, an educator, or an entrepreneur, you don't want to hear about network marketing, go ahead and DM me. I've already given you the presentation based off the information that you're going to need. Now, I want to talk about the second part of the company for those people who are interested in network marketing direct sales. The reason I'm going to talk to them is because I told you this company incentivizes people to go be a HUD, to be able to bring eyeballs, subscribers, to be able to buy your products, your service, which is your gift and your skills. See, what happens is this company's so smart, they learn from the industry. They learn from history. And they understood that network marketing is one of the best ways to bring product to market. And so the other half of the company is going to be focused on creating a sales force that's going to be able to help sell your value-added course, to be able to sell your content for all you content creators, to be able to sell your podcast for all those people running a podcast, to be able to sell your business and your ideas for all those people who are entrepreneurs. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to them. You guys go ahead and you just send me. I want you guys to go ahead and just send me right now a DM. I'll go ahead and get you a free link so that you'll be able to get more information about this platform I just got done talking to. Now, all those people who are urban entrepreneurs, all those people who are network marketers, you might be in sales, you might be a realtor, and you know what? Sometimes you got a highs and lows point. Guess what, man? It's all good, man. I understand. Been there, done that. You might be, guess what? An insurance salesman. You know what? Here's the thing. You like making money and you understand that, you know what, the power of leverage. Here's an opportunity for you to build a sales force that's going to be you're going to be able to create a sales force that's going to allow you to be able to start making passive residual income. So while you might be working on your real estate, you might be working on your mortgage, you might be working on your insurance, you might be selling cars, guess what? You also have money that's being made passive residual income because there's salespeople that you're going to be able to put to work with you collaborating with you, not for you, but with you, creating that leverage in 160 countries. I don't think you heard me. That means while you're asleep and you ain't doing business, it's daytime somewhere else, they're doing business. While they're making sales, guess what? This company's going to be paying you. They have a fast start bonus where you're literally getting paid for everyone that you bring onto this platform who decide that they want to be a content creator, entrepreneur, educator, and they want to be on this platform. Maybe they just want to be a student and sign up to get this financial literacy education because they realize they're going to make more money out of college in, becoming a content creator, being a crypto trader, being a Forex trader, an NFT trader, than whatever they're going to school for. So maybe they just want to come to this platform and learn from billionaires and millionaires to learn how they do it so they can bypass that 40-40 system. I would. I mean, why work 40 years, 40 hours, more like 70 hours a week for the next 40 years to retire on 40%? Don't make no sense to me. But that's their thing, man. It was something that Rockefellers and everyone sold people on so that you could go ahead and work for their companies back in the Industrial Revolution. But last time I checked, we're right now in the social media age, and we're going into the AI age, where 80% of the people working in corporations are going to get laid off because AI is replacing them. Back to what I'm saying. So the cool thing about you is this. You're going to be incentivized to drive traffic to these entrepreneurs, to drive traffic to these educators, to drive traffic to these content creators and podcast people. Why? Because that's what this company's doing. They're going to pay you for your skill set, for your gift. So guess what? It's like a gym. Every time they're going to pay their gym membership, it don't matter if it's upper body day or lower body day. Cool thing is, guess what? Man, I forgot to tell them, but I'll tell you. They even went and got, guess what? Personal trainers. They have a health and nutrition side of this. So they're going to be health and nutrition part of the app where you're going to be able to have your daily workout right there on your phone. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot to tell them. I'll let you tell them because guess what? That's what you guys are going to be good at, is selling people on this. They also have AI technology. They also have, guess what? A website builder. They got all sorts of great things that you're going to be able to sell as their product and service on top of, that Vibe Volt, that financial literacy education, and all the other things that these people are going to be bringing for their business, their services, their products, their gifts to this ecosystem. Man, it's so awesome. So imagine every time someone went to the gym with you and they paid $50 like you paid $50 at the gym, say, you know what? We can learn from these direct sales companies instead of paying billions of dollars in advertising on social media and online, and at the Super Bowl and on TV and all this. We're going to go ahead and shift this over to this network marketing company that's going to have its own sales force. Well, guess what? Vibe's the ecosystem. Guess what? Vibe's connected to direct sales on the sales side of it, and that's why we're talking to you. You have an opportunity to take advantage of 5 income streams. You might have a value-added course. You might have merch. Guess what? You can participate in that. You might want to go ahead and learn from millionaires and billionaires in that financial literacy course. You can do that. You can be a student. You can go ahead and be an educator. You can even go ahead and have your own value-added course, even as a direct salesperson. But guess what? You're going to be able to tap into all 5 income streams on the direct sales because guess what? They're going to pay you $10 every time that person pays that $50 for their membership at the gym. You're like, how's that work? Remember I told you in the beginning of this that 1/5 of that price for marketing that Jerome was telling me about, is how much it costs on this platform? Wouldn't it be cool if they gave you $50 out of that 1/5 price? So let's just say it was $300. Wouldn't it be cool if they gave you the $60 every time those people paid for the platform? Good thing is, it's not even $300. But I'm just giving you numbers. It's less than $300. But they're going to give you 1/5 of that fast start every month. I know you've been in other direct sales companies where you only get a fast start once. But with Vibe, you get that fast start every single month. And it gets better. Because guess what? They got a 3x10 matrix. What's that mean is, guess what? You've been in network marketing. You've been in sales because the other people are off the phone. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to network marketers and the salespeople right now. Guess what? What happens is this. There's a 3x10 matrix in this company. And it works like this. You bring on 3 people. 1 entrepreneur, 1 educator, and 1 content creator. Man, maybe you bring on someone like a Matthew Plant, who's an artist, who's an independent artist right now, who, man, he wants to go viral, and you plug him into this system, and you show him how they're going to take his business and all his music, and he's going to literally be able to sell his album for $10, have hundreds of thousands of people go ahead and get his album in that month, and guess what? $10 times 100,000 people get it. Man, you made him a millionaire in 1 month. Imagine if all these people on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube knew about this Vibe platform and they were musicians. Man, and then they started selling merch. Man, when I showed Matthew Plant how much money he could make off of merch, we just looked at one hat, one sweatshirt, one t-shirt, one sweatsuit, and it was over $4 million if he had just 50 people a day. 50! 50! Just buy one item. A hat, a shirt, a sweatsuit. 50 people. That's it. One item. $4 million. You see what I'm saying? This is the best platform if you're in direct sales network marketing, because you're going to have the best range of products to be able to sell. And guess what? The business people are going to love you. Content creators are going to love you. Man, the educators are going to love you doing their value added course, because they're all making money. I already gave you the numbers. Man, what educator you know, content creator you know, come on, what business owner you know can start a business and literally get up to the point where they're making 6 figures a month within the first 2 months? Are you kidding me, man? And because you brought them, this company's going to pay you that fast start bonus every month that they're paying their gym membership, their fee. Now it gets better. On that 3x10 matrix, they're going to give you a $5 bill. Hello. For every one of the content creators, educators, hello, and educator, content creator, and entrepreneur, every month that they're paying their membership. On top of that, hello, that $40 to $50 we talked about. And it's going to pay that $5 10 generations down. When you go 10 generations down, that's almost 90,000 people. Hello. So you invited 3, 1 of each. They invited 3, 1 of each. They invited 3, 1 of each. By the time it goes 10 levels deep, man, that's almost 90,000 people. 90,000 people times $5 is what? Ooh, man, that means on your third income stream that you can pay every month, that's over $442,000 a month. I'm going to let that sink in. That's on top of all the other money. That's on top of, guess what? I ain't even talking about the money you're going to make off of all the customers who come in, all the customers who ain't educators, all the customers who ain't content creators, all the customers who are buying products and they're not even an entrepreneur. You know how much money you're going to get off of that too? Oh my goodness, man. You're going to be like DuckTales, my favorite cartoon when I was a kid. You're going to be having a swimming pool just diving and swimming in the money. You'll be like DuckTales, just swimming in the money, doing a backstroke in the money. Because there's still, guess what, man? There's still 2 more income streams. You're like, HD, there's more? Man, guess what they're going to do? They're going to give you a 100% override on those 3 people you brought in. So imagine you brought in 100 people, and those 100 people are making $100,000 a month in the monthly income streams just off of the revenue for them, for the people they brought in. You get a 100% match on that. Yeah, they're making $100,000 a month just off of that, off of subscriptions. And you got 100 people doing that? $100,000 a month. Add 2 zeros, man, that's $10 million residual on top of what I already told you. And then guess what? The people who they brought in, you're going to get 50% off. You get 50%. So you got 100 people, they bring in 3. That's 300 people, and you're going to get a 50% override on that. And so if they learn to follow your system and they duplicate what you did, that means you're going to have 300 people, hello, making $100,000 a month, hello, and you're going to get 50% of that? That's another way. 1.5 mil? So that's on the 500, the 50%, that's 1.5 mil. On the 100%, what's that, 10 mil? Then plus whatever you make. Man, come on, man. You tell me the last time anyone showed you how you could go from 0 to making $15 to $20 million a month. And that's why I say every single day, this is the #1 business opportunity of 2025. Because if you're a content creator, if you're an educator, hello, if you're an entrepreneur, or maybe you just want to be a student, they got so many ways to help you become a multimillionaire in 2025. And God forbid, if you're a network marketer and you like sales, woo! Can you only imagine the opportunity to make like $50 million a month? Now you understand why HD Rhodes, man, is so serious about teaching people about entrepreneurship, teaching people how to monetize their gifts. Because I've never seen an opportunity to be able to help people with their goals, their dreams, not sell someone else's product, but to be able to learn how to monetize their own product, their own dreams, their own goals, whether it's cups, whether it's hats, t-shirts, whether they're rapping, whether they're singing, whether they're playing the guitar or the drums, whether they're teaching a classroom, whatever it is that you do in your room and it's your specialty, that's honest and legal. Hello, would you like to be able to monetize it and to learn how to be able to bring it to a platform that's going to teach you to go from step 1 to done? Well, then send me an email or go ahead and DM me. DM me. I'm HD Rhodes. I'm out.